So good afternoon. Next slide. My name is Irv Adler. I am the 2025 Local Conference Chair representing the host JGS, the Northeast Indiana Jewish Genealogy Society. And on behalf of Hadassah Lipsius, Judy Missel, the IAJGS Conference co-chairs, Dan Oren, the IAJGS Conference Program Chair, Curt Witcher, Manager of the Allen County Public Library Genealogy Center and Director of Special Collections, and Betsy Gephardt, President of the NIJGS. I would like to welcome you to our information session on the 2025 IAJGS 45th International Jewish Genealogy Conference that will be held in Fort Wayne, Indiana, from Sunday, August the 10th through Thursday, August the 14th, 2025. Next slide, please. So you've seen some of the highlights in the video shown as you entered this presentation. So during the roughly 30-minute presentation, we'll point out again some of these key highlights of Fort Wayne and why you should want to come here for the 45th IAJGS International Jewish Genealogy Conference. I will say a few words about the unique conference center experience that Fort Wayne will provide, Fort Wayne's location, and the significance of this. Curt will speak about the world-class Allen County Public Library Genealogy Center, its accessibility to conference attendees, and the benefits you will get by spending time there. Hadassah will speak about our unique program focus and a few other related items. Please put your questions in the chat feature, and we will answer them in the Q&A session, which follows the presentation. Next slide. Let's start with the Grand Wayne Convention Center. It is as if the Grand Wayne Convention Center was made for the International Jewish Genealogy Conference. It's easy to get to. It's located in the heart of downtown Fort Wayne. It's modern, clean, extremely well lit, and very comfortable. It is very easy to get around the Grand Wayne Convention Center, walking or even scooting around. It has a state-of-the-art technology in both large and small meeting spaces. It has well-designed meeting rooms. It has free and high-quality internet throughout. It has lots of places to sit and chat. It has lots of space for exhibitors and organizations. Next slide. What makes it even easier for the conference attendees is that the conference hotel, the Downtown Hilton Hotel, is connected directly to the Grand Wayne Convention Center. You can get up, get breakfast, walk directly into the Grand Wayne Convention Center from the first floor, or you can escalate from the mezzanine. Next slide. You can see from this map that the Allen County Public Library Genealogy Center is directly across the street from the Grand Wayne Convention Center, a few minutes walk away. For those who would like to go out for their meals, there are about 50 eating establishments, from fast food to top-of-the-line restaurants, within a 5 to 10-minute walk from the Grand Wayne Convention Center. Cross the street to the gardens at the Botanical Conservatory or the iconic Embassy Theater. Take a short walk to our #1 in the country minor league baseball stadium. And don't worry, it is safe to walk around. Next slide. Fort Wayne is located in the heart of the Midwest. About half the population of the U.S. is within a 500-mile drive to Fort Wayne. And you may not know this, but there are about 1 million people who identify themselves as Jewish living within this 500-mile radius, many of whom live in the cities shown on this map. Next slide. One of the questions we hear is, how do I get to Fort Wayne? It is not difficult to get to Fort Wayne. Many of the cities shown on the previous map are only a few hours away by car. And if you should drive, There is a parking garage directly connected to the Hilton Hotel, and parking is only $15 a day. Next slide. The Fort Wayne Airport is a major regional hub airport that is more than 2/3 of the way through a $100 million improvement program designed to make it the region's #1 airport to fly into. There are multiple daily direct flights to and from Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas, Detroit, Chicago, Minneapolis, through American, Delta, and United. And Allegiant has direct flights from the cities listed on this slide. Getting to Fort Wayne should not be an impediment to joining us for the 45th conference. There are lots of ways to get from anywhere to Fort Wayne. Next slide. Okay, you made it here. Now you or your family members might want to take a break. There are many things to do right across the street or a short walk away. We are working to put together a list of things to do and interesting places for you to visit. Here are a few examples. See a Tin Caps ball game. Go to Promenade Park and take a boat ride on the Sweet Breeze. Visit the almost 100-year-old historic Embassy Theater, originally a movie palace and vaudeville house. Visit the Botanical Conservatory. Tour the Fort Wayne Museum of Art and its highly renowned contemporary studio art glass collection. Walk the streets and view 100+ murals that were spotlighted by Amna Nawaz and correspondent Kat Wise during the February 21, 2023 showing of the PBS NewsHour, emphasizing Fort Wayne's growing cultural, music, and art scene. And visit Fort Wayne's nationally ranked children's zoo, one of the top 10 in the nation. And if you enter electronic music and musical instruments, a short trip to Sweetwater Sound's Music Superstar should be on your list. Sweetwater Sound is among the largest pro audio dealers in the world. It's a hands-on heaven. I hope that I've given you an idea of what dynamic, expanding, and affordable Fort Wayne can offer 45th conference attendees. Besides the conference, there is something to do for everyone who wants something more. You won't be disappointed. And now, let's go to the major benefit of having the conference in Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library Genealogy Center. Curt, you're on.
Thanks, Irv. And what an honor to spend a few moments this afternoon with all of you who are interested in knowing more information about the conference next year. We are so excited and so honored to have you consider Fort Wayne, Indiana as a great destination for the IAJGS 2025 conference. Clearly, we're convinced that it is, and we certainly would like to spend a few moments telling you why we hope you're convinced that it is as well. As was mentioned at the top of the hour, I manage the Genealogy Center here at the Allen County Public Library and Director of Special Collections. We really pride ourselves in doing the extra that make a genealogy family history conference really special for attendees who come to Fort Wayne. We've hosted 5 national genealogy conferences in the last 15 to 20 years, from a modest number of around 600 to a high of about 1,580. So as Irv was articulating, the city can accommodate our attendee numbers really well. And certainly the library's Genealogy Center can accommodate attendees really well. As one of our volunteers said when we opened our expanded space about 2 decades ago, we can drink up a lot of people in the Genealogy Center. So there'll be plenty of room for you to steal a few hours, grab a few moments here and there to take a look around the Genealogy Center and see if you can expand your family stories. What I'd like to do now is just to share with you a quick little 3-minute video of the Genealogy Center, and then we'll hit some highlights after that.
Welcome to the Allen County Public Library. For more than 125 years, this library has been an integral, important part of this community. We literally are dedicated to lifelong learning, and we have something for everyone here at the main library. Here, we also find the Genealogy Center. Since 1961, the Genealogy Center has welcomed patrons who are interested in finding their stories. Through an amazing collection of physical materials, print, microtext, online materials, and staff expertise, one can really take advantage of the world of family and local history to find one's unique story. Let's take a look. We have over 1.2 million print and microtext resources. We license all the major databases that complement a really amazing print collection. Because we believe that context is so important in finding our stories, we subscribe to every single genealogical and historical and ethnic periodical in North America, in the British Isles, and in places in Europe. It's literally a block long. Here we're in the beginning of the state records section. These are records from county archives that may not exist anywhere except in that county. So we have nearly 80,000 print city directories and another several thousand on microfilm that put people in a place at a time and tell you who their neighbors are. Many people can find pieces of their family story in these books.
One of the biggest positives is that all of our stuff is OpenStax, so you don't have to make a request for something that's held off-site and then wait a week. All of our stuff is here and ready for you to find your family story pretty organically.
We have hundreds of translated memorial books that have been done by Jewish Gen. We also have hundreds of original Yizkor books. A lot of them are in Yiddish, and we'll take some assistance. But that assistance is readily available both online and in the Genealogy Center here. We have one entire room dedicated to published family histories. We have tens of thousands of family histories in this room. Even in the less sourced family history, we can help people find clues to information on their family stories.
No matter what you might need help with, there is a senior librarian here to help you. If you need an expert in Ukrainian research, if you need a DNA expert, we have someone here.
If there's a question, if there's a hole in your ancestral chart in finding your Jewish family stories, we can help you find the answer. We personalize your research experience. You really have a lot of resources right here. We would love to help you find more of your family stories here in the Genealogy Center. Enjoy your trip here because we believe you'll enjoy your experience with us.
Thank you so much for taking a few moments to view that. I wanted just to go over on this slide and a couple following slides, just some of the highlights that were articulated in that video and a few others. As the video indicated, more than 1 million physical items. So we have been serious about collecting items for family and local history from around the world since 1961. We will collect anything that puts a person in a place at a time doing something. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a vital event. It can be just life and migration and settlement and synagogues and what people did with their lives. We're really convinced that context is king in doing family history and finding your family story. So we want as many historical materials as we possibly can get. Well, we also have one of the best collections of online databases that you're going to find anywhere, from the known ones to the lesser known ones, that will really help complement the print collection and help you be more successful in finding your family stories. What's neat about our relationship with IAJGS and planning for this conference, and a lot of the wonderful people that put up data and databases, is that we will be adding more materials to the collection specific to Jewish and Eastern European research between now and August. One of the things I'd like to, I hope, excite people about is that every month we add at least 500 new print items to our collection every month. For example, just last month, October of 2024, we added 1,084 new items. So if you've looked in our online catalog a couple years ago, there are thousands of additional materials that weren't available at that time. So it's an organic growing collection, and we're interested in really helping you find your family stories. We tell many people, and I'll offer it to all of you this afternoon, if you're interested in a particular work that you know is in publication, but we don't have, let us know about it. It might be surprising how fast it will appear on our shelves. We do have what is listed on the slide as a very cool concept. I think it's pretty cool, but then I'm a little geeky. What's cool is you can bring any of your own device, a smart device, netbook, laptop, whatever device you want to bring. And if you can connect it to our free library Wi-Fi, you can access all of our licensed databases as if you were a node on our internet. And somebody might say, big deal, Curt. Well, it is kind of a big deal because that saves you a lot of grief when you want to go download something. Instead of printing something off and downloading it onto a USB drive, you can download it right to your smart device. I think a lot of people have had success doing that. When we take a look at the next slide, you will see some specific Jewish resources in our Genealogy Center. Because it is such a broad and deep collection, we have temple and synagogue histories throughout the United States and beyond. Every single Jewish genealogy guidebook that has been published, we will have those as well. And you can read the other bullet points on the slide. The Shoah Foundation's visual archive, histories of Jews and Jewish culture and communities throughout the world. A special database that came from a large information aggregator has a number of documents, thousands, from the Jewish Historical Society in New York. And as the video said, we subscribe to every single periodical we can find, including all the Jewish periodicals we can find. And we will show on the next slide how you can access some of these materials ahead of time. So we are a partner with Internet Archive, and you might think, well, I don't need to come to your library to get access to the Internet Archive. You are correct. Even though they've had a small little challenge the last couple of weeks, archive.org is a great place to continue your search for your family story. Over 130,000 of the Genealogy Center materials that are out of copyright clear, are available on the Internet Archive. Why not go there and check out ahead of time what you might, access even before you get here? It might give you ideas about other things you might want to look for. We are the highest affiliate library status with Family Search. So when you come here, the only other place where you can access more Family Search material is the Family Search Library in Salt Lake City. Now, there are other libraries that have this same high level of affiliate status, but when you're here in Fort Wayne, you can be assured that every record that possibly can be unlocked for you to view will be available in the Genealogy Center. And the third bullet point there, again, you might scratch your head and say, why are you telling me this in the context of this conference? Well, we participate in WorldCat. WorldCat is the largest bibliographic database in the world. About 2 billion searchable records from library catalogs around the world. So if you search WorldCat for a synagogue, for a country, for a location, for a shtetl, for whatever you're interested in, if it's been cataloged in a participating library, it will show you that. Again, you can do a lot of free research before you come to the Genealogy Center. Because we participate, it's another good way. If you don't feel comfortable with our catalog, it's another way to search for materials in our collection. We all know that catalogs can be kind of janky, right? So when we're have an opportunity to maybe use someone else's catalog to see if I could find something using different search terms or different strategies. So please do take advantage of that. If we can flip to the next slide real quick, planning to use the Genealogy Center, use our online catalog, go to genealogycenter.org, You've seen that at the bottom left of these last several slides. Our periodical source index, you can search that index for free 24/7 anywhere in the world with an internet connection. You can do some pre-search before you arrive at the conference next year, and we have all the periodicals and all the articles that are indexed in Percy. If we can go to the final two slides, these were last minute additions, and a couple of them are a little hazy, a little fuzzy, but I wanted to show you that free on our website, we continually update our list of major Jewish offerings in our print collection. What you see on these lists, which are easily downloadable from genealogycenter.org, is like 1% of the material we have in our collection. They're just kind of set up to tease you, to inspire you, to get you to think about, oh, these are the kinds of materials I should look for. And the second to last slide is just another example of very fuzzy, a list of IAJGS core books. And we try to update this at least every other month because we're getting materials frequently. Finally, kind of an outlier, but many of us are interested in this. And if we can just click twice to get the 2 bullet points to come up. We have, as part of special collections, really an amazing Lincoln collection at the Allen County Public Library. So that's kind of the icing on top of the icing on top of the cake. You can actually see about 30,000 unique items digitally, and some of them actually artifactually in person when you're here at the conference next August. It really is an amazing collection, and we've had some really wonderful scholars come here and help us interpret it and help make it a more enriching experience for you. So thank you so much for listening to me talk about the Genealogy Center, and I will hand it off to Hadassah.
Thank you, Curt. Thank you, Irv. Doing the last parts. So our theme is for the conferences, and we settled here, the Jewish journey, where our goal is to include talks about not just settling in Fort Wayne or into the Midwest, but what made people migrate in general. Fort Wayne has a deep history and the Jewish community in the country from the mid 19th century. And I'm going to show, these images are from the synagogue itself. And I am also going to show a video about the history of the Jews of Fort Wayne. I apologize to anybody who's from Brooklyn. You'll figure out why in a minute.
Fort Wayne, Indiana, a city where history flows as richly as its 3 rivers, the St. Joseph, St. Mary's, and Maumee. Originally the Miami village of Kikionga. Today, we dive into Fort Wayne's past, highlighting the remarkable Jewish community and other fascinating tales of this vibrant Midwestern hub. Our story begins in the 1820s with the arrival of John Jacob Hayes, Fort Wayne's first Jewish resident. Hayes came here as an Indian agent and was among the early pioneers, navigating life in what was then the American frontier. Around the same time, Johnny Appleseed roamed these parts. Yes, he was real, and yes, he wore a tin hat. Today, Fort Wayne celebrates his legacy with an annual festival, because who doesn't love a sticky caramel apple? Back to our Jewish community. The mid to late 1800s saw a wave of German Jewish immigrants, bringing new energy and traditions. They integrated with Fort Wayne's large German population, blending cultural practices and languages. The Jewish community quickly set up essential institutions like a cemetery and places of worship. The Nerdlinger House, right in current-day downtown Fort Wayne, served as an early meeting spot for the Achduth V'Sholem congregation. The congregation, which is still a cornerstone of Jewish life here, was founded in 1848, the same year Brooklyn's first Jewish congregation was established. It's like Fort Wayne and Brooklyn are spiritual twins, minus the subway delays and constant honking. The late 1800s brought a new wave of immigrants from Eastern Europe who were fleeing to escape violent anti-Semitic pogroms. In 1912, B'nai Jacob was founded after a cemetery issue arose. But let's not dig into that right now. The Jewish community didn't just settle, they thrived and contributed significantly to Fort Wayne's economic, civic, and philanthropic development. They also changed Fort Wayne's skyline. A.M. Strauss, a prominent Jewish architect, designed the Lincoln Tower. Completed in 1930, it was the tallest building in Indiana for decades. After World War II, Fort Wayne experienced post-war economic prosperity. Downtown buzzed with life, featuring many thriving Jewish-owned businesses. The Jewish community continued to contribute significantly to the city's economic and philanthropic landscape, a legacy that is reflected in many aspects of life in Fort Wayne. Today, Fort Wayne is home to Congregation Akduth V'Shalom, which offers both Reform and traditional services, as well as the Chabad Jewish Center. The city also hosts 2 Jewish cemeteries and the Jewish Federation of Fort Wayne, which founded Camp Joe Levine, a summer camp, in 1979. Fort Wayne's Jewish history reflects the broader American Jewish experience, standing as a testament to the resilience, adaptability, and community support that have defined both the Jewish community and the city of Fort Wayne, Indiana.
Thank you. And now you understand why I apologize to those from Brooklyn. So we've announced on our website the conference themes. Obviously, we settled here the Jewish journey. So the journey to the Midwest and beyond. But it's not just Midwest, but even why our families came to anywhere. Why did we migrate? Why did we escape? Did we escape Europe or the Arab lands? How did they end up in their destination itself? We're also going to talk about the wide world of experiences theme, the Jews of diverse people. Where did they settle? The citizenship the theme is because we get a lot of requests from people on obtaining information on obtaining citizenship from different places. But we want to know not just currently citizenship, but for in the past, where our families left. What rights did they have? What rights did they have, and were they actually citizens in those countries itself? We have a cultural heritage theme, and this is interesting because we're going to introduce a family journey showcase, because everybody has a story. Everybody has some family story, and we will hope to introduce this theme or the showcase, where this concept invites presenters to share a specific family or journeys, family story or journey. And it's just a concise session. We'll have multiple tables in a room, and you can move from station to station. It's about 15 minutes, includes 5 minutes of question. Then the standard of the methodology and archives, the tools and technologies, and also the starters theme for those who are new to genealogy. And perhaps we will have people at our conference who had the opportunity to come to this conference who had never had the opportunity before because they weren't able to travel from further distances. So we hope to get those people in the Midwest area, as Irv has spoken about. We also have a film festival, and this is interesting. We will feature over 30 rare and historical significant Jewish themed films, early 20th century to the modern era. Will include immigration, Holocaust, North American westward expansion. And this 2025 happens to be the 50th anniversary of the original screening of Hester Street, and we will be screening the 4K restoration of that movie. I actually went 50 years ago as a young kid to the Plaza Theater in Manhattan to see the original. And it all will be curated by Steve Carr, who's the director of the Institute for Holocaust and Genocide Studies at Purdue University in Fort Wayne. And also, because as you heard, Johnny Appleseed lived in Fort Wayne and his final resting place in Fort Wayne, we have introduced the Fort Wayne Jewish Heritage Apple Cookbook. We're asking people, and we have gotten a number of submittals. We're asking people to participate. Everyone here too. Submit your family apple recipe to our team. Just the only criteria is have to contain apples in it. Name the ancestor who have passed down the recipe to you, where they came from, maybe a short family story about that item, your name, your email address. You can send it to recipes@iajgs2025.org. We've received a number of submittals. We received pictures of ancestors. We even have somebody who's about to submit who, in the family tradition, it's named after an aunt, but nobody knows who that aunt is or how that aunt is related. Doesn't matter. We will take it as long as it has apples. And we have had some interesting recipes. And finally, we remind you to please think about attending the 45th IAJGS International Conference on Jewish Genealogy in Fort Wayne. It's August 10th to the 14th.